This might be the most niche, deepest cut kind of video I ever do that will only appeal to a certain number of folks, but everything you're about to hear came to me fully formed almost instantaneously, so I knew I had to do it. Plus, if you just like to hear me recommend random series, you're in the right place. Bibliophiles of the internet, my name's Adriana, and today I'm here to recommend some series for my Animal Crossing's New Horizons Islanders, and not just any series, but manga series. That's right, I'm here to do the Manga Crossing tag. I was tagged by my friend Melissa from Maija Reads, and I believe the original is from Dynamic Dylan. I love both of their channels so much, and their videos will be down below, so definitely check them out. The premise of this video is simple. You describe your Islanders and their personalities, and see if you can find a series that matches up with their aesthetic. So we're gonna start with Becky. Becky was in my second wave of Islanders. She's extremely high class, she's elegant, she's elevated, she prides herself on having a very refined classical taste. I think she would be super into a sort of Victorian era historical romance type series like Emma by Morikaru, which is very much a staple classic. The main character Emma is a working class maid who falls for William Jones, a wealthy aristocrat, and their relationship is difficult to breach because of their vastly different social standings and the rigid gatekeeping of elite society and whatnot. I feel like the romantic drama and the historical background would really speak to Becky's aesthetic, and I think she would definitely binge read this series. Now, Flo is one of the OGs. She's been on Vital since day one, and she's kind of a normal type penguin who always wears a fluffy sweater no matter what the weather's like, and who insists on leaving the board game I gave her on the floor instead of putting it on the wooden block table where it belongs. What's up with that, Flo? Flo is the type of Islander who will tell me I'm doing too much if I talk to her like twice in one day, so I feel like she'd gravitate towards a series that's laid back, that's not too over the top, so I'm thinking Barakuman by Yoshino Satsuki. It's a slice of life story about an up-and-coming calligraphy artist who is critiqued as being unoriginal by a big-name artist in the industry, and he's basically exiled to the Goto Islands to rediscover himself as an artist and completely reset. I think Flo would love this because it's about peaceful island life and finding yourself as an artist, and I think Flo gives me the most DIY recipes, so in a way, she's kind of an artist. Midge is one of my newer additions. She's a cute little anxious bean who cares so much about everyone and has the most adorable aesthetic in her house. I think Midge would be into a series like Orange by Takano Ishigo. It's a soft slice of life type story with strong elements of friendship and romance about a girl who gets a letter from her future self telling her to look out for a new classmate who's starting school that day because if she doesn't, she may lose him to a suicide attempt. So it's about her future self trying to teach her past self how to cherish her friendships and show up for people in meaningful ways, and in a way correct her own mistakes that may have contributed to this friend feeling so alone and helpless. I think Midge would appreciate how this story touches on mental health with a lot of cute aesthetics and a really soft romance, and I think she would definitely have it on her shelves. Serrano is relatively new. He's kind of a tough type with a little bit of jock. He has this rumbly low voice but is a self-proclaimed softie on the inside, so I'm cool with him, I guess. Serrano's default outfit is like this martial arts getup with a black belt, so I think he would appreciate a series that's more focused on training and fighting and discipline, so I think he'd be all over Naruto by Kishimoto Masashi. Is this an excuse to talk about Naruto? Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny. This is a classic series all about ninjas, of course, and the main character, Naruto, is an orphan who possesses a powerful fox spirit within, and his dream is to become the Hokage, the leader of his village, and overcome everyone who's been against him to truly earn his place. Naruto as a series is all about diligence, training, self-discipline, self-belief, and I think Serrano would be all about it. Next up is Tucker. Tucker was also in my second wave of Islanders. He's a woolly mammoth who's part lazy, part jock. If his animal print getup is any indication, he's very old school, he's very prehistoric and proud of it, so I think he would be like a manga purist who's very into like older classic series. I mean, I could see anything from Dragon Ball to Monster by Urasawa Naoki to Hellsing by Hirono Kota, but I think I'm gonna go with something like Blade of the Immortal by Samuro Hiraoki. It's this classic shonen series about an immortal swordsman whose only skill is killing people, and to make up for the innocent people he's slain, he is sworn to kill 100 evil people for every one innocent. I guess it's about trying to not let yourself be consumed by revenge and hatred, and in a way embarking on a strange journey to find peace, which I think Tucker would appreciate. Now let's talk about Matilda. Matilda is the resident mom type. She's a badass looking black kangaroo who carries around her Joey and calls everyone her wee baby, so having her on the island is just really nice. Obviously, as a mom, I think Matilda would appreciate a family-oriented, all-ages type series. I was tempted to say say Sweetness and Lightning or maybe My Brother's Husband, but I actually think Yotsuba by Azumo Kiyohiko would be a much better fit. It's an all-ages slice-of-life type story about a young girl named Yotsuba who's a little bit of an oddball, very sweet, very cute, and it's literally just a look at her day-to-day adventures as a curious child with a restless heart. Next up is Tammy. Tammy is one of my favorite islanders. We have given each other so many gifts and had so many conversations. She's extremely energetic and a self-described future designer / pop icon with big, big dreams. Tammy has such a bubbly personality. She's fashion-forward, she's very ambitious, she's musically inclined, and I think she would love a series like K-On! By Kekifly. It's about this carefree high schooler who sees a flyer for something called the Light Music Club and immediately signs up, but she only remembers afterwards that she can't actually play an instrument. When she goes to the club room to explain herself and back out, the other members actually beg her to stay on because they need to have so many members in order not to get disbanded by the front office. So that's how she becomes a member and eventually becomes their guitarist. It's a bubbly, music-centric series that I think would definitely be in Tammy's wheelhouse. I'm not going to say I nailed it, but I kind of nailed it. Next is Sally. Sally is a really cute squirrel who's a fashionista. Her house and her decor tells me she would definitely be a booktuber in another life. She has an outgoing personality, so I think she would really love something like Oran High School Host Club by Hattori Bisco. I love this series. It's a satirical, comical school story about Haruhi, a poor student attending this lavish private high school on scholarship, and one day she accidentally stumbles into the Host Club, which is a group of 6 attractive boys who entertain young ladies after school hours, as one does. In her haste to escape, she breaks this extraordinarily expensive vase, putting her in debt to the Host Club, and they decide to disguise her as a boy and train her as a host so that she can earn back whatever she owes, which is quite a bit. Haruhi is very near and dear to me as a character because she's obviously on the non-binary spectrum. She changes her pronouns, her honorifics, her look. She even likes being read as both masculine and feminine, and for her, it's not a source of confusion or weirdness. That's my little Protect Haruhi Fujioka soapbox, but Sally would definitely gush about this series. Next up is Vesta. Vesta is the newest addition to Vital. I found her as a visitor at my campsite, and I was a little bit sad because I had to sacrifice Shep, my best anime boy, to get her, but I really wanted her because she's one of my original villagers from New Leaf, and I was able to get a friend to adopt Shep on my behalf, so it all worked out. Vesta is also a fashionista. She has a very natural, rustic aesthetic. Her place is very warm and homey, and she's extremely down to earth and unerringly polite. So I see her as like a casual manga reader who's not too deep into any given series, and I could see her reading a short, concise series like Cheese Sweet Home by Konomi Kanata. This is a sweet little slice of life series about this cute, mischievous kitten who gets separated from her owners but is quickly found by another family who wants to take her in, but the problem is they live in this apartment complex that doesn't allow pets. It's a cute little series about family, friendship, and love, something very casual that you can dip in and out of as you please, which I think is exactly what Vesta needs. And finally, we have Goldie. Goldie is god tier for me. She is my ride or die in Pocket Camp, and I actually brought her to my island via Amiibo card because her presence was non-negotiable in my eyes. Goldie is, again, a very natural, very casual little puppers. She loves to keep her garden spick and span, and she's really, really nice, so I can see her with a classic series like Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya. This is a classic staple shoujo manga series about a girl named Toru who is living by herself in a tent after her mother passes away, and she gets taken in by the Soma family, a couple of whom happen to be her classmates. But the Soma family has a secret. When they're hugged by someone of a different gender, they turn into animals from the Chinese zodiac. This series is beloved for a reason. It's an incredibly soft, sweet series that explores love, loyalty, and friendship, and the lengths you might go to in order to protect those who are defenseless, and I think it's definitely Goldie's type of series. So those are all my island residents and the manga series I think they would love. Again, this video might be a super deep cut for some people, but I had so much fun making it. And if you're also playing New Horizons and you know of any manga series or novels that would fit your neighbors, I would love to hear about them in the comments below. But that's everything I have for this tag today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the flip side of the page.